Welcome to this episode of the Conscious Business Coffee Break, where we take a few moments to explore what's happening in the conscious business movement, expand awareness, and encourage your efforts in conscious business. Greetings, everyone. I'm Stephen Donaco of the Conscious Business Enterprise, a division of Humanities team. And on today's program, we're talking about a more positive impression of business. And the topic is inspired by an article in Fortune called Slowly But Surely, Americans Are Softening Their Negative Impression of Business. And the article is about a report that came out from Just Capital. It's a nonprofit that tracks and ranks companies on the business behaviors that people care about most. And in this report from Just Capital, it found that a greater share of people, 30%, up from 20% last year, see business as heading in the right direction. And a little bit smaller share of the public, 38%, down from 47% last year, view business as heading in the wrong direction. So more people believing business is heading in the right direction, less people believe it's heading in the wrong direction, at least in this survey, which was done in the United States. So this is a small improvement, but it's an improvement nevertheless. And the trend reflects, quote, more tangible evidence of companies' leadership on things like pay, sexual harassment in the workplace, and the environment, unquote, according to Just Capital CEO Martin Whitaker. And some examples of this that Whitaker points out are that companies stepped up to address climate change, even after the U.S. administration withdrew the United States from the Paris Climate Accord. Nike's powerful statement on racial injustice. Recently, Levi's recent call to end gun violence, and Patagonia's strong advocacy to protect public lands in response to policy changes by the U.S. administration. And then it's also worth considering from a U.S. perspective, Americans' lack of faith in politicians, which is, of course, increasingly divided and polarized this country. A Pew study earlier in the year found that just 25% of Americans have confidence in elected officials to act in the best interest of the public. Now, that's 25% of people confident in politicians. 45% said that they had confidence in business leaders, so a huge uptick there. And Whitaker says if you can't believe in what's going on in politics, you turn to what's going on in the workplace. And this is where business can be holistically innovative. So this is where businesses are innovative beyond just their products and beyond the use of technology, but are being socially innovative and environmentally innovative as well. Now, of course, whether it's in politics or in business, it's all about the money. So in politics, it currently proves more profitable for elected officials to be self-serving rather than to selflessly serve their constituents. However, business, consumers are demanding and being more vocal about business's behavior. So if business leaders sense that customers are going to spend their money elsewhere, they take notice and make adjustments, and this is what we're seeing, and this survey is reflecting that. The Just Capital survey results find that Americans are viewing business as more than simply a means for commerce. They see it as a vehicle for tackling social issues. More than half, 56% of the survey respondents say CEOs should take a stand on social issues related to their business. And then even a larger share than that, 63% say CEOs of large companies have a responsibility to take a stand on important social issues regardless of the pertinence to their respective businesses. So this is an increasing trend towards people feeling that and really sensing into this truth that business is a powerful force for good beyond just what it creates as its product and service, and actually has this potential to be of greater service to all of society. Now, the survey data show that consumers are actively backing companies based on their social stances. And we see this a lot with the younger generations in particular. 79% of survey respondents say they believe people are, quote, somewhat or very effective, unquote, when they act to try to change companies' behavior. And 78% have put that belief into practice. So they've taken at least one action to support what they consider to be a company's positive behavior. These include things like buying more of a company's product, mentioning a company on social media, and investing in the company. Another profound shift is Americans' willingness to base their employment on a corporation's values. And I would be curious to know if anybody has links to either stories or studies in other parts of the world with regard to this as well. But in America specifically, 76% of people say they would choose to work for a quote unquote just company, even if it paid less. And a just company is defined by the survey as ethical, honest, and fair, and behaving as such when it comes to its employees, customers, shareholders, and the environment. The survey results reflect a recognition that companies are in fact social organizing forces and do affect the lives of millions of people and millions of families and millions of community, said Whitaker. He says it's clear that people think employers should stand up even on non-traditional issues, and that doing so is a prerequisite for companies that want to compete in the 21st century marketplace. So there is so much of this that applies to the Conscious Business Declaration. Really, you could take the whole declaration and every principle applies in one way or another, but let me just call out a few of those principles that I see in alignment with this story and the survey results. And one is principle number 2. In line with the reality that we are one, the purpose of business is to increase economic prosperity while contributing to a healthy environment and improving human well-being. Principle 4, business must operate with economic, social, and ecological transparency. Principle 5, business must behave as a positive and proactive member of the local and global communities in which it operates. And then principle 7, when aligned with oneness, that we are all interrelated, interconnected, and interdependent, business is the most powerful engine on earth for creating prosperity and flourishing for all. So, of course, as always, we in Humanities Team will encourage you, if the principles of the Conscious Business Declaration resonate with you, please go to consciousbusinessdeclaration.org and you can sign the declaration right there online. So that's the coffee break for today. Appreciate everyone who tuned in watching live, and we'll see you again on Friday, 9 a.m. U.S. Central Time for another edition. So until then, have a great day, everyone.